Peace and blessings, everybody. It's Bravador Live. Thank y'all so much for checking out Bravador Live, 7 o'clock, straight up. And just checking things here. Yep, we look good. We sound good. Have a special show tonight, y'all. And according with Black History Month, we had Jaquan last week. Phenomenal show. And we've got another phenomenal show tonight, everybody, for you. Yes, we do. I'm even joined by my man, the DJ MC Fresh. He's here. Fresh, what's good, man?
Yo, what's up, Brad?
What's going on? Fresh, we got a phenomenal one tonight, don't we?
Yeah, I think you put together a nice one.
Yeah, we did. Yes, it's good to see you, Fresh, also. And everybody, I'm going to make the announcement right now real quick. Put down May 14th on your calendar. May 14th. That is the next reunion jam with the Z-Rock crew and the Junior Funk Machine. That will be May 14th. Details are coming. All right? Details are coming. Hey, Maisha, how are you? Mia's on Fresh. Mia's here. So she's there. We have special guests tonight, everybody. And again, thank my man DJ MC Fresh for co-hosting with me tonight. First Priority Music, MC Light, the Audio 2. I'll even say the Z-Rock crew, the Royal Sound crew, the Alliance, MC Peaches, Kings of Swing. I hope I'm not forgetting Mishy Me. Oh man, what a roster we had. And it's very appropriate to bring on the president of First Priority Music, Mr. Nat Robinson. It's an honor to have you here, Nat. Thank you for joining us, man.
Well, it's cool to be here. Good to see you guys. It's nice to see Fresh. You know, and I talk to you all the time.
Oh, yeah, you do. You do. Nat has been like a father to me over the years. And he showed us a lot about the business, the music business, which a lot of times the music business can be very shrewd. It really can be. But Nat showed us how to navigate through it. And thank you so much, Nat. I'm saying that publicly right now. Thank you for all your wisdom.
It was a good time. And one thing, when everybody's in their rocking chair, you can lay back and talk about it because it'll be good.
I'm in a rocking chair sometime myself now, Nat. But wait, guess who else we have here, y'all? Guess who else? MCMI. People call him Milk. Milk D.
What's up, y'all? Positive K.
Positive K. How can I forget Paz?
How you doing? It's good to see y'all.
Man, it's good to see you, Milk. It's good to see you. Gosh, look at this, y'all. Bravador Live, the first of its kind. I've got some of the greatest people in my life. Fresh, he and I have been DJing since, 84. Nat Robinson, Milk D. I learned a lot of my skills from engineering and recording from Milk. Tricks from Milk as far as recording. Milk showed me so much. Fresh as well. Fresh showed me how to program a drum machine. You know, this is history for Black history. This is history for all days of the year. So we're just going to get in and talk about the days of First Priority. If I can, Fresh, I like to start off how we ended up meeting Milk D, the Audio 2, Milk and Giz, Nat.
No, you go ahead. You're the conductor. You go right ahead.
Well, it was, I believe it was 1988.
Come on, hey, stop with those dates, man. You're making us look old.
Well, it's history. Milk is history. Well, I'll try to leave the dates out, okay? I'll leave the dates out. Well, it was one day, Fresh walks into the broadcast studio of WKIE, 1540 AM, the beat of the city. Z-Rock Crew show was on. Fresh walks in. Man, you got to check this out. It's Audio 2, man. You know, it's Daddy-O and all of them put this together. Audio 2, man, top billing. Make It Funky. We played Make It Funky. Then we flipped it over and played top billing. Phone stayed lit all the time. I look at the label because Fresh was the one that introduced me on how to look at the label and credits and where they come from. I called the phone number 718. I can't remember the rest. I call up. His voice answers the phone. First Priority. I said, yeah, can I speak with someone in charge there? Nat Robinson? Is that who I need to talk to? Yeah, who's calling? This is El Bravador from the Z-Rock crew at WKIE. 1540 AM in Richmond, Virginia. We're playing your song. Hold on. Keep quiet, y'all. Hold on. Don't hang up. Hold on. Hello? I said, yeah, this is El Bravador of the Z-Rock crew at 1540 AM WKIE in Richmond, Virginia. We're playing your record. Top billing. Which record you playing? Top billing. Well, what about Make It Funky? We're playing that too, but Top Billing is the one. Oh, that's great, man. Well, I'm Nat Robinson. I said, wow, it'd be nice if I could talk to Milk. Oh, you just talked to him. He was the one that answered the phone. Mine was blown. That was it. It was done. Over with. I thought that was as far as it would have gone. But Nat also sent me Quartergram Pam from Positive K. Lumumba and Positive did that record. And then the rest is pretty much history. You know, they would come down to Richmond so much. We supported them and played their music so much. And we were one of the first, if not the first, to break Cram to Understand You, if I'm not mistaken. Now, we played MC Light. The phones lit up with Cram to Understand You. My thing is, I'm going into this way, Nat and Milk. How did y'all come to let's put a record company together with your two sons, Nat? How did that happen?
Well, if you take it from my point of view, there's this guy that was really kind of busy in those days. He had a name called Russell, and I knew Russell when Milk was out shopping. You and Freddie, right?
Right.
And you know, he went out and he tried to get his thing going with Russell. That didn't quite work out. I'll do a shortcut. And he made decisions that, hey, I'm going to make this work. And him and the guys put it together and they made it work. They put a studio together. They know what they were doing. But I'm not going to take his thing right now. He can tell you better than me.
Well, I think, like I always say, you know, my father, he's an entrepreneur and he doesn't take you seriously unless you're making moves, trying to make something happen. So I think at a certain point, he realized that I was serious and he offered his help. He had a friend that had an independent label and he took us over there, Magic Christian Music, Elmo the Magic Christian. And we, and Elmo agreed to do, he was doing a Christmas record and he was like, oh yeah, they could do the Christmas record. And that's where it all started. But then basically my pops was funding it and we was running around to the record stores, putting it in the record stores and paying off the DJs to get them to play it. And then one day, I could remember the day, D. We was sitting in the car.
I got that Christmas record.
Huh?
Christmas record somewhere.
Yeah, the Christmas record. So there was this record store. It was on, I think it was 8th Avenue between like 34th and 42nd. And they told us we wanted to leave some records there on consignment. And they told us that we had to wait till 3 o'clock. I don't remember what time. And we was sitting in the car waiting and we was talking. And basically it was like, yo, we doing everything ourselves anyway. We might as well start our own label.
Yeah.
And that was when the decision was made.
Yep.
Was it always called First Priority?
No, what happened early on, it was called Priority Records. And there was another Priority Records. So we both ran, we both ran to, you know, we had to run and try to get all the legal stuff done. And we came, like a day or two behind him.
Yeah.
And so we actually changed it. Yeah, we changed it to First Priority Music from his label, Priority.
And they were out on the West Coast. Everybody knows Priority. Yeah, those that don't know, Priority was NWA and a lot of the West Coast acts out there. Ruthless Priority. Was that.
I think that it turned out for the best because to me, it was more appropriate for us because that was our first priority was our music and we put everything into it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So that became really kind of a good moment.
I can remember so much about those days. I know we don't have all the time in the world to talk about them, but I
Right.
just remember coming. I remember the day when we got in my Mustang. We left at 2 a.m, I believe, if you can remember fresh. It was 2 a.m. It was fresh. My friend Andre, our friend Andre, and myself. And this is my first time going to New York.
That was the first time, yeah. We went up
That was my first time. And what I did was I was studying a map for an entire week on how to get there because I didn't want any mix-ups. And Nat would tell me, yeah, we didn't have that then. Right.
There wasn't no cell phones either.
None of that.
No,
none of that.
no.
Not
You
well,
had the 800 beeper, remember?
Yeah, actually, I actually had one before that because I used to install them. I used to install them in cars and stuff. But the day we went up, and we got into New York, and we drove right past where we were supposed to stop. We ended up in Brooklyn, and I called Nat. I said, Nat, where do we go? Wait, you're in Brooklyn. I'm in Staten Island. And I'm like, oh, snap. So Fresh is like, what's up? I said, man, we got to go back the other way. And we did not realize the tolls and how much they cost.
What is it now, Milk? About $17?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like, I mean, I don't really know, but it's almost $20 now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a discount
17,
if you live on Staten Island, so it's a little bit cheaper for us.
Yeah.
Then I think it was like 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah, it was for back then. It was a shock. It was a culture. We didn't have anything but $20 in our pocket. That's all we had was $20. That was it. $20. As a matter of fact, Nat gave me some money to get back home, and he told me, he said, no matter how good something is, don't ever go nowhere with no money in your pocket. I remember that. I remember one of the lessons that Nat taught me.
And that was 8 cylinders too. That was a lot of gas.
Yes, it was. That Mustang GT. It was that Mustang I had. Yes, it was. Good thing it was manual, so that was a little better on gas. Milk, like I said before, you taught me so much about engineering, you and Casey and Urim from Such a Sound Firehouse Studio. Well, first of all, let's go back. You all did a song called I Like Cherries. I remember that one.
No, we'll get through these soon.
Huh?
I just said, no, we'll get through all those. I Like Cherries and Christmas song.
Yeah, Cherries that might have been the first one or one of the first ones.
Yeah.
It's a cult favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Maisha's right here saying she's singing that song now.
I was told about that song by her before I met you guys, years before I met you guys. And when I went up there and I realized she knew you, she was like, this is the song with these are guys I used to tell you about.
With that crazy song.
She had an aunt that lived next door to me.
Miss Bella.
And she used to come down and visit during the summers.
What's up, Mia?
And bring all her New York hits.
And that's how
we went to school together.
Brooklyn Tech.
Brooklyn
Tech.
Yeah.
You know, Milk, but again, going through that, Milk, and you know, of course, everybody's heard the story about how Top Billing was made and everything. Everybody's heard that. But I was so amazed at your recording techniques with just a little bit of equipment. You know, 4-track, Digitech sampler that triggered by a 727 Roland drum machine, if I'm not mistaken. Those things stuck with me because it was just so amazing that you could make a hit record like that with not that much. I mean, Fresh and I, we finally got a 4-track, and we did our things with 4 and 8 tracks, and you also did 4 and 8 tracks at certain times. And I tried to, I would tell people this, and even Fresh would tell people this, that was done on 4-track. They would not believe it. They would not believe it. But you were just an extraordinary guy when it came to engineering.
Well, I'm just an extraordinary guy.
Okay. Same, look, he ain't changed. He hasn't changed. He hasn't changed.
So the whole 4-track thing came from my father, because when we did the Christmas record, Elmo was like, we went to a studio called INS, and it had a 24-track, And there's another time we was in the car talking, and he just kept saying, well, I don't understand. If a song only has 4 tracks, why can't you use a 4-track? And Elmo was like, no, you got to use a 24-track if it's professional. And he's like, but suppose it's only 4 tracks. So that kind of inspired him to get us the 4-track. And I think that this is my opinion, but the essence of hip hop is innovation and creation. So you take what you have and you be as creative as you can with it. And a lot of times, you end up creating something new. So I think as far as the innovation goes, it's because of the lack of equipment, because of the lack of access. It teaches you how to use what you have to be creative. And I think that's just what we did.
Yeah.
Nat, you and Nat said that to me. And because Fresh and I, when we would record, we even did things back in the days. I don't know if you have ever heard of this, where you take 2 tape decks and you go tape to tape and switch them around.
Mostly 8 tracks.
Yeah. We would do that, with cassette tapes. It would give you a lot of degeneration. But like we did the one song we did, you all may have never heard Nat and Milk, was called The Beat Is Bad. Fresh did that song. That song got us so much notoriety in this area, and we didn't even have it on wax. People just wanted it. It was that good. So just like you said, Milk, when you use what you have to create something, sometimes you can get the best stuff out of that. And y'all taught, I learned that from not only you and Nat, but also Fresh taught me that as well, with just the way he would think about doing things, and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was completing my thought. I'm sorry. You go ahead, Milk. Go ahead.
It's so crazy because, technology, like they say, the same thing will make you laugh and make you cry. Now you turn on it, like my computer, you could turn on the computer and have 100 tracks like nothing. Like, you know what I mean? 100 tracks and 1 million sounds and, 1 billion drum sounds. I probably got 10 billion kick drum sounds. But that, to me, that's not inspirational. That doesn't inspire you to be creative. And I think that the music reflects that. Like if you listen to the music from before, it was always something innovative or creative happening.
Yeah.
So technology, I think, is great, but then also I think it takes away from the innovation, in my opinion.
So with that said, I always ask this question amongst a lot of guys. If we had the equipment that we have now back then, probably wouldn't have been as creative, you think?
I don't think so.
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to say that, but I'm still innovating with with the technology now, but it just doesn't feel the same. Like I still get. It's funny. I did a show a few months ago, and I saw Fame from MOP.
Okay.
And he was like, he pulled me to the side. Like, it was like this whole thing. And he was like, yo, I need to talk to you. I want to ask you something. And I was like, what? He was like, yo, I listened to all of your songs from back in the days. He said, I've been wanting to ask you this for years. He was like, how did you get the delay to happen before the words, before the actual word? And he's like, how'd you do that? So I explained how we did it. He was like, yo, that was crazy. He said, then he started naming the songs that we did it on. He's like, you did that on the Light song. And he's like, it's been bugging me out for years. I said, yo, you got to turn the tape over and record it backwards, which we can't do no more because there's no tapes. I figured out how to do it on the computer though, but it's those. And the funny thing is those little things, people heard that stuff. Like you think nobody noticed that, but they notice.
Yeah.
We got picked up on it by being at the radio, and that's how we had to edit, was slice the tape, splice it together. And then, so we kind of was up on it a little bit.
Milk, it's just like he said, slice and tape. I believe I showed you how to slice that.
Yes, you did. I forgot about that. You did. Yeah.
After that, I'm done. Hey, and look, interview over. I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm getting rid of all this. Milk D just said it to everybody. I taught Milk D something. I'm done.
Absolutely did, and I forgot about
it was
that.
nice knowing
you
y'all.
just said it.
Yeah,
That took me a long time. I used to. That was so rough, tough for me, and I always wanted to know how to do it. And actually, when you taught me how to do it, I went crazy, and I started doing a whole bunch of remixes, cutting the tape. You sure did. Thank you.
Hey, no, thank you. At least I was able to repay somehow the knowledge that you and your dad gave me, man. I tell you. Now, Nat.
Yes, sir.
You're the catalyst for this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You were a former IBM computer program, I believe. Am I right? Or am
engineer?
I wrong? Engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's one and the same. A big check, a nice size check job, even in New York. You left that to start this label with your sons.
Yes.
And Light.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever a time you thought, like, man, what am I doing?
Well, I'll be honest, and I'll give everybody a lot of credit. I'll take it from the top. People like Positive was there, and Casey, you know, he was there. And to get to the thing, and I'm going to be honest because this is my son. Milk worked real hard. I can give you stories you would be shocked about. Milk would get the car, go take the records to the stores on the way to school. So it was a whole different type of vibe, you know? So no, you don't fear that. I'll tell you what I did. I need to put some big money together. You remember, Milk, when I went, this guy was putting a new company together and he asked me to come over there to be an engineer. So I said, look, I can only do that for 6 months. He said, how much you gonna give me? I said, you need to give me $100,000. And we stayed there. I stayed there, but I couldn't talk because I was inside with these people all the time. So I did that time there, like being in jail, got the money, and then we had a little bit more movement. But Milk worked, and I'm not saying a lot of people didn't, but Milk worked hard. KC, they were putting studios together. So all the things that was happening around you, you don't get scared. It becomes part of your life at that moment.
Right.
And you know, you get a little low on money, you find a way to get some more money. Well, no sticker like that.
And there was times
money.
There were times. The thing that I think that impressed me most about what we did was there were times when money was low, and if we had a choice between, you know, buying something. You remember the shoe thing, D?
Yeah.
Buying some shoes or pressing some records. Yeah. It's like, yo, let's press the records. Forget about the shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a commitment.
We actually, our office was in our house. We used to have boxes of records that you could put your plate on the top of and pull a chair up and eat. That's the way we were. It was completely jammed with product, you know?
Yeah. I remember being at the house with the studio in the basement. And I can remember seeing the records and stuff. I mean, you was like, here, take some records. I mean, when we left that time, I don't know if you can remember, Fresh, we had records galore. Especially the time when we left after we were at the video shoot for Mini Styles, Step Up Front, and I'm Not Having It in Mount Vernon.
Right, you're on top of it. And who did that? That was
Lionel Martin, Classic Concepts, and Video Music Box, Ralph McDaniels. You know, during that time, I don't remember even seeing Ralph, but I saw Lionel, and I don't know if y'all can remember.
Was Ralph there? I'm not even sure he was there.
I just didn't really recall because, you know, my attention always was on Lionel because I was so amazed at how they did music videos. Little do y'all know, that's how I got into wanting to do music videos, was from being on set. And I would sneak off to the side when we would take breaks, and I'd talk to Lionel. And I know Lionel was like, oh, hey, this guy's asking me. This is at the Light as a Rock one. And Lionel was like, he was telling me this and telling me that. Was an assistant he had, very pretty lady. And she would talk to me too. And then when I showed up in Mount Vernon, We showed up. Fresh and I showed up. I said, Fresh, that's Lionel right there. That's Lionel right there. Fresh said, man, don't go over there and bother that man. I go over there. I said, hey, how y'all doing? Lionel looked like, oh, hello, it's you again.
Oh, here he is.
It's like, it's you again. Hi. And he said, yeah, it was. That experience was just so great. But Fresh and I are coming back. We had a box full of records that you and your dad gave us. And I was going 90 miles an hour on the Jersey Turnpike. And Fresh said, man, slow down, man. I said, for what? We going good. He said, look, Jersey Trooper was in the other lane, shining the spotlight on the car. I slowed down. I pumped the brakes, slowed down. He shot in front of us. Once those lanes came together, we didn't see him. He jumped right behind us and pulled us.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can think about at that time, I think Illegal Search was out there with LL Cool J. That's all I can think. I'm almost sure that's what it was.
Can't my car look better than yours?
Oh man, look, man. Oh my gosh.
Here's a funny thing about the records. We decided, because we didn't have the money to do videos and stuff, we decided that we were going to use the records as a marketing tool, which wasn't really popular like that back then. People weren't giving away records because the records cost money. So that's the reason why you had a box of records, is because that's what we did. We just gave out mad records, and that's how we broke the records, by giving them away.
Yeah,
we used to stand in front of a club and wait for the people to come out, and you give them a record when they come out.
Yeah,
and
that was our marketing plan.
Remember what's the little kid's name? He would always have records in the trunk.
Shaheem.
You see somebody stops, opens the trunk of the car. Hey,
Shaheem told me after he, started recording and stuff, he said, "Oh, I saw you one day and I was talking to you and you opened your trunk and gave me some records. You gave me that I crammed to understand you."
Hey, Terry. Hey, Terry's on. I'm just shouting out Terry Moore. Got to shout out Terry.
What's up,
Terry?
What's up,
I'm going to see if I can get him and see if he can jump on. Let me see if I can get him.
You can jump on.
Yeah, Terry. I'm going to see if I can do that. Terry, I'm sending you something in your messenger. So stand by, my friend. I'm going to go ahead and send this to you now and see if, okay, Terry, it's coming at you right now. It'll say link, and see if we can bring Mr. Terry Moore on here and see if he can add some insight as well. This is a great night, everybody. And by the way, I would like to, let me see if I can get her as well.
That's right. Get the team.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that. Okay, I think I can. But everybody that's checking this out right now, this is Bravador Live. I have the DJ MC Fresh as my co-host tonight, which I'm honored to have. Also, I'm honored to have two of some of the greatest people in my life is along with Fresh. I'm talking about Milk D of the Audio 2 and Mr. Nat Robinson, the man that's responsible for First Priority Music, MC Light, MC Peaches, the Alliance, the Audio 2, and the list goes on. Even I believe Wondrous as well. May she rest in peace. There's so many people that have contributed to what this record company was, but it would not have happened at all without Mr. Nat Robinson and Milk D. And without further ado, and positive is going. When I hit Atlanta, he's going to get me. I'm sorry, man. Please forgive me. I'm trying to multitask and everything.
I think we actually met Positive in person before we met.
Yes, we actually did, because I got them to come down for a show. It was Lumumba, Positive, Bill Black, and some other folks.
Was it
that drove down.
Was Paradise with you?
No, Paradise wasn't with us on that one.
Oh, okay.
And that was before you and I, all of us had met. But they came down to do a show because the radio station, we brought them down when we were on the radio, and they were in Ashland Skating Land. Hold on one second. Look who I have, everybody. Mr. Terry Moore.
Yeah.
Terry.
What up, Terry?
Terry, we can't hear you, brother.
Turn the mic on.
Hold on. That might be me.
There you go.
Wait, it was on for a second.
There we go. I got you.
What's going on, fam? Good to see everybody. What's happening?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Terry. Good to see you. And Terry and I have talked off and on over the last few years, recent years. and I've been keeping up with Terry. Terry has something that he does called learning the music business. So Terry has given his insight to many people on what's going on in the music business and everything. And Terry, I put this together because this is Black History Month, and there's no history like First Priority Music history. I mean, we were just that label, I believe. I think we were that label that everybody wanted to be like. Everybody was, you had those that were very successful, the Def Jams, the Idol Makers sets with Herbie Love and everything. But there was nothing like a First Priority office at St. John's Place.
God.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Yo, Terry, tell them who you are and what you did.
Oh man, what's going on, Mel D in the place? Hey, I was First Priority Music resident publicist. I was a gentleman that was hired by Nat Robinson to come in and put the artists out in magazines and TV shows. I had no clue about what a publicist was until Nat Robinson stepped in my office one day and said, "Hey, you're now a publicist." And I was like, "Publicist? I don't know. What is he like? Learn it." And that was like, "Learn it." But hey, real quick, it's because of Milk that I actually started working at First Priority Music.
Yeah.
I was actually hanging out at a meeting with MC Search. Milk, you remember that meeting with MC Search, KRS-One, Melly Mel? We was at Latin Quarters.
At Latin Quarters, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, and
but wait, hold on, let me stop you.
Yeah.
You had reached out to us before, right? You was working at Billboard.
Working at Billboard.
Right. So when you you was like, I've been reaching out to y'all, right? That's how it started. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Hey, check this out. I was calling First Priority Music so much that every time I would call, I'd be like, "Hey, can I speak to Nat Robinson?" The young lady was like, "Nat Robinson he's not here today. I'll take a message." That went on for a year before I realized that there was an answer service. But I started dating the receptionist.
See, this is what I'm talking about. For us to be able to do this and share with the world, it's just phenomenal. And like you said, Nat being in technology and doing things over those years, and what has come to be today that's allowing us to do this is a beautiful thing. And it's just the stories that the whole thing is that I've done documentaries, I've done things. I'll say there's got to be something in the works for film for First Priority at some time or another. Has anybody thought of that?
We actually have some scripts done, but we just COVID. We were right in the beginning of COVID, and we were there. We were really there, and it just it kind of came apart because we was getting financing from banks and stuff like that. So I didn't really bother to go back and try to do it again. Terry's aware of the people that I was working with. He knows too, Milk. And we're trying to put it together, just get all the stuff together. We'll get back to it.
Okay. Well, if it's any assistance I can offer,
okay.
I'm a phone call away.
Okay.
I'm a phone call away.
I got to mess with Terry a little bit too. I got to tell you one thing. Terry left out something important. When I went into the office, he gave me this whole story about a half an hour why he didn't know anything about being a PR person that does that. I let him talk. I said, "Okay, you just spent a half an hour telling me what you can't do. I'll take another half an hour and figure out how you do it." And then I left.
Hey, listen, no excuses. We're gonna make this happen. Wait a minute, but you hired me to do radio promotions.
Yeah, that's
It's
over.
like if you could call First Priority Music every day for a year, then you could do publicity.
Oh, Terry. I'll tell you some stories one day, but Terry can have some stories.
I know a few of those myself, and I believe Fresh knows a few of them as well. I also want to make sure I cover the Bum Rush label, because the Bum Rush label, it was, oh my gosh, the Bum Rush label was really, to me, was really getting ready to really shake up the world. I really believe that.
Virgin Records, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was Peaches. I had the honor of producing Coming Straight Rolling Hard for her. One that I know Red Alert played often. And I was just so ecstatic over that record. And KC did the reverse side, Treat Her Like a Lady, which was good. And Casey and I have been talking over the years about different things as far as, you know, the productions that I did with them and everything that we wanted to do for the future, Nat, that we really wanted to make come to fruition. I remember being in Times Square with Milk and Giz. This was the new music seminar. This is when the second album came out, and things didn't go too well, and some people were, you know, saying some harsh things and what have you. And I was already on guard. I mean, you know, anybody stepped to Milk or Giz, I was in it. Nobody was going to do anything to them as far as I was there. I may have gotten my stomped on or whatever, but I wasn't going to let it happen. But it was a rough time for that second album. I love that second album. That second album I love, you know. And
you did something on the second album, right?
I did the Nasty. I did the Nasty.
Yeah.
And Vaughn wrote it.
I should call him and tell him and see what he's doing.
Yeah, really. But, you know, and Milk, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do that song on that album. But, you know, the one that a lot of people really are talking to me about is the Hickeys remix, the El Bravador mix, the one with the go-go that I put go-go in it and I mixed all that. And the idea I got from that was just like from Grand Mix of DST and Herbie Hancock and Rocket. That's how I kind of patterned it after. But I remember just working in your studio and doing that song. And Milk said, "You got to lay a metronome down." I said, "No, I don't need a metronome." "Yes, you do. You need a metronome." Milk, you didn't. I don't know if you knew it or not, but when I was mixing it, when you turned your back, I turned the metronome down, and I just did it off beats per minute in my head. Yeah. And Fresh taught me that.
Oh, just so not to worry about it.
Yeah.
Hey, who did the logos for the label? The First Priority and the Bum Rush?
The labels?
Yeah, the logos.
Well, Sam, right? Didn't Sam do it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
I remember y'all said something about a Sam. I remember Sam.
He did the labels and he did the logo on the door.
Yeah.
I did the original logo with a stencil.
You got it. You gave it to him.
That was before we got professional. You know, then Sam made this.
Yeah,
right.
I thought that was kind of dope. I mean, you know, I always thought that logo was dope.
Yeah, it carried us a long way. But a lot of people don't realize what we did with the labels. Every label had a different color. Every artist had their own color.
I remember green for Positive K.
Yeah.
Red for Audio 2. Black for The Alliance.
Yeah.
Yellow for Peaches.
Purple for Kings of Swing.
Oh, I never knew
that.
Yeah.
Lazy Lays was red.
Orange?
No, he was purple. Who'd you say? Yeah, he was purple. Who'd you say was purple? Kings of Swing was
purple.
Blue.
Yeah.
Blue or purple. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was blue.
Yeah. You're right. Absolutely.
That's great.
But you know what we did that for? Because when we put the records out for distribution before we had a major deal, we could know when the records come back because they'll send the records back to us with a different color label.
Yeah,
this is not our record. What's going on?
Yeah, that was a scam they used to do back in the days. They would actually press records to give them back to you. You know, so plus we would know whose record it was instantly. Like we never got any of those red ones back, so we knew what was
right.
The red ones. Audio 2, get it.
And I'll tell you, I can tell Terry this too, but I can tell you later. I'll tell you about Milk when he was 16 years old. I won't say nothing now.
Yeah, don't embarrass me. I'm sure it's embarrassing.
Nat, what do you say? You got to see the movie. Got to see the documentary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you all this.
Doing something silly.
Milk, I remember when we rode with you for the first time in that car going across the BQE. in Brooklyn. You
Which
remember
car?
Fresh, don't you?
Which car?
Oh my gosh, Milk, you got in that car and drove like Mario Kart. I mean, man,
I just
Which one? Which car?
the Chevy
Oh, the Z24.
no.
You know I
This
got
before
that
the
car
Z24.
because of you.
This is before the Z24.
Yeah.
No. This is before. This was the celebrity. Nat had a
Oh,
right on his
Yeah,
shoulder,
that
was-
celebrity.
that was
a car
that
we
was
used
the
to-
office car.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was the
Ron would
office
pick people
car,
up from the
yeah.
airport and stuff like that.
Man,
They
Milk
move
got
records
on
around.
that BQE. I said, Milk, there's a bump. Don't worry about it. I mean, man, like Mario Kart. I'll never forget it.
We all
That
drive
sounds
fast.
about
We all
right.
drive fast up here or something.
Yeah. Well, we
We all
lost
drive
Terry.
fast up here. I'm like, slow down.
We
I was
lost
probably
Terry. real
showing
quick.
off
I guess he'll come
because
back.
y'all was speed demons.
Well,
Yeah.
I admit I was. I really was.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, he
I
was.
was. I
He
was.
was.
I was.
I
And
was- What kind of tire shine you use?
okay, Terry's back. Okay. We lost you for a
Yeah,
minute,
yeah.
Terry. Terry, you there?
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Okay, yeah. Fresh was like, you was asking Fresh, what kind of tire shine you use? I mean, oh man.
Y'all
You
taught
know-
me a lot about cars.
Yeah,
I didn't even, I was so young, I didn't know anything. If I knew anything about cars, I wouldn't have got that Jetta to begin with.
And,
But
and,
I-
and you bought a stick. You bought a stick car.
He bought the Z24. He
Yeah,
bought the black
yeah,
Z24.
automatic.
Yeah.
yeah, that was after I saw Fresh's. And I really like that body type better than the one that I got. But
Right. Yeah.
because yours is like square, it's more square.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you had that small motorcycle you was trying to get me to buy.
Yeah.
That was-
Shaheen actually bought that from me.
Oh,
Man,
I remember that now. I remember.
And I was
that.
ripping around corners all over the place with that thing.
Not too smart. And
It wasn't, but no helmet or anything.
yeah, those were the days.
Well, Nat, since you and Terry are here as well with Milk, what are some of the tough things that y'all went through as far as Surf Party, but you made it through? I mean, for it to be a legendary label like it is, what was some of the tough things that you all ran into? Some of the, some of the hurdles, I guess you could say.
Well, I think a lot of it was, we had to go to different territories. So, we were all over the place. We didn't have that marketing yet. So we were hustling. We were going to Virginia. We came from New York to Virginia. We went up to Connecticut. We went. What was that radio station, Terry, in L.A.?
Oh, K-Day? K-Day.
Which one?
K-Day.
K-Day.
K-Day. Yeah, the one you married the girl from there.
Yeah, K-Day. I still talk to her, too.
Really, Terry? This is
Sound
really
like
good
Terry
show,
was a
Terry.
pimp.
What's about that?
I didn't know you was a pimp, Terry.
But hey, Milk,
Yeah.
Reggie come walking down with Terry and the girl, and we're standing outside, and Reggie said, D, I have nothing to do with this. He made me go to Vegas and marry her.
Hey, but it did help us get our records on K-Day,
It
right?
sure did.
Well, he did his job, right?
Every night.
He did his job.
Hey, I took one for the team.
Yeah. That's how we do.
That's how you guys do it. I hear you.
Maisha Mia just told me she's at a wedding reception, so
she said
said
that earlier today. Yeah, she told me
she
that.
can't really join, but she
Yeah.
said if she can try to steal away, maybe she'll try.
All right,
So
yeah, definitely got to see Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
I know that the show. Well, first of all, I still have to appreciate y'all for that day. You all came to Richmond and did that free show at the football field. I don't know if you can remember that.
I don't know. Man. You know
The
that
night
one?
before
Was
that,
there?
you all did a show at the Ebony Island Club that used to be here. And that next day, you all did at a football field, you all, for the station for WANT, you all did a free concert.
Oh,
And at the same time, Kid and Play was at a show across town.
I remember that.
No one came to this Kid and Play show. They were all at Hotchkiss Field on Brooklyn Park Boulevard with you all. I mean, everybody in First Priority was there. Yeah. And people till this day still talk about that show.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know you all, that wasn't the only one you did like that, giving free concerts. Y'all gave a lot of free concerts. You all gave a lot back to the community. You really did.
Yeah, we gave sometimes. Well, I'm going to tell you where we started. Do you know what made us start giving the records and things away in marketing? I used to sit, I never smoked cigarettes, but do you remember in the old days when you walk down the street, there were these little white, beautiful girls would be giving out cigarettes with 4 cigarettes or 5 cigarettes in a pack.
Right.
For free. Right. And it was kind of the same thing we did. We just give it to people, and you give it and you give it and give it to you, have control of it. And
so you get them addicted.
Mm-hmm. But you know the best thing, what I think the best thing to me, and I think Terry would think so also. I was walking down the street one night, and I don't remember which radio thing which was on, but the guys were in their cars and they were playing Top Billin'. I just froze, and they was at a light, and I'm just looking at this car, and then it drove off.
Nat, I believe that was here. I think you told me
that was it. It was somewhere.
I think that was here. I really believe that was here.
And it was just so amazing when you could hear music on your car, other people's car driving past you.
It does something. You're right.
Yeah. And you wake up, oh my God, you start calling. Did you hear anything tonight? Because I just heard this, you know. It's cool. So yeah, it was a good marketing thing. We used to go on the subway. What were those things we used to put on the thing? Cherry milk. But what was it? I Like Cherry or something?
First we had the I Like Cherry stickers. We started that, by the way.
Right.
A lot of labels started doing stickers after that, but we
with Subway and the telephone boxes in those days. You know?
Yeah.
We did the stickers, the I Like Cherries and the Top Billings. We used to. My father would call me when he was at lunch or whatever, so we could talk about what need to be done, like, you know, sending out records or whatever. And he'd be like, wait, hold on, let me put up a sticker. He'd be at the phone booth and he'll be like, oh, let me put up a sticker real quick.
Well, man.
I got a quick question. I want to double back for Nat and Terry. Dealing with Billboard and the trades and that type stuff, how hard was it to do that with First Priority before and after, with the distribution with Atlantic and all that stuff?
That would be more Matt's side on that, because he dealt a lot with Atlantic and the distribution side.
Who's that now?
So when you're trying to get like the trades to pick up on stuff and report the record to Billboard and all the trade, how hard was it back then to do that type stuff for you guys?
I'm gonna let Terry say that, then I'll tell you how I feel about it.
Because we used to try to, report the record all the time when they come to call the station with we could be honest and be real, right, Terry? Those days, you better have some money. You walk in North Carolina into a studio, a radio, and the guy looks at me. I was with Dean, and
Dean Jackson.
Dean. I'm talking. Dean said, "Just give him the money." I said, "Give him the money." Then we get in the car and we're driving. As soon as we drive, about 10 minutes, they're playing our records.
Yeah, the record.
I was like, wow, that just cost me $500.
Hey, allegedly cost us $500.
I'm sorry, Terry, you're right.
I think the statute of limitations is up on it.
Yeah, that was back then. I mean, look, and it's not like
in those days they had a thing called payola.
Right.
It was a book about that.
Right.
So it was all about payola in those days, and who had the money to grease whose part, anything. And what was the guy's name you did the thing with Terry when he was in college and he was doing his letter, and then later on we had a battle between Latifah and Light, which one we was going to put on.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Dave Mays and the Source.
Yeah, exactly, the Source. That was one of the first places we actually start putting things, in colleges.
But
you did that,
before it was a magazine.
Which one?
I said the source. It was like it was just
Right.
paper. What do you call it? Like a newsletter.
Like a newsletter.
We
He was
started.
in college, Boston, somewhere in one of those colleges.
Yeah, I think he told me we were their first sponsor.
Yes, he told me that when I talked to him after you did the thing for the museum.
Mhm.
You know, the thing last year or 2 years ago, and I talked to him about it a lot because we had a little problems with him back in the day, but we talked and everything's cool.
So I mean,
Very cool.
nothing unusual from anybody else. It's just these things, working in records and stuff that you see on some of these movies. We kind of went through some of the same things.
Right.
It's what did I want to say? I just can remember that a lot of times people just didn't want to play their records or something like that, but we still got through. We still got through.
You know what it was? It wasn't that we were we were going to mix shows at night that started 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Right.
And you would go to those places, and that's where you would get your records played.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't like now.
Not like now at all.
The radio stations are playing hip hop all day long. It was just at night on the weekends usually.
And
Right.
what's your boy's name to college, Milk? There was a guy that you were playing the records. He said, you can send me a blank record and I'll play it. You remember the white dude?
Who? P. Fine? From where? Which station in New
No,
York?
this was out in Queens.
Oh,
Long Island or somewhere. One of the colleges.
I think you're talking about Jeff Foss.
Yes, yeah.
I remember
And he
Jeff
played
Foss. I remember him.
You remember him?
He used to support us a lot.
So we had to go to the colleges and places like that. We couldn't get into the main time with the record radio stations yet. They just was not doing that with us. But we had to do what we did, and the kids are the ones that took it there. They loved hip hop, and their love for hip hop is what kept us moving.
That's what I was gonna say, Fresh. A lot of that stuff we didn't get the reporting and stuff, but that doesn't dictate who likes the song or not. The kids decide what they like. So a lot of the Billboard reporting and stuff like that we didn't get, but we touched the hood.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
And I know we missed out on a lot of money because we just played what we liked.
Yeah, we did. We did. We were the ones that y'all could come to.
He was like, I don't want to play that. We're going to play this.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing of it is, just like I said, Fresh bought the record, and then we would buy records to play on the radio.
Right.
We would buy them because they either wouldn't be servicing the station or something like that. Then Artie over at the phone booth here in Richmond, which I remember doing a signing there at one time, Artie would get these things, and then some of the ones that we would get in that would be in the mail, Artie would always call us, say question and answer time. What's that record you just played? Okay, I'm ordering it. That first priority thing, we need more of those. He ordered more, you know, and things. So, it was only the stations like what we were on, KIE. There were only three in the country, really, three big ones in the country. Us, WRAP in Norfolk, and K-Day out on the West Coast.
K-Day.
And I believe it was one in Houston. It was another one. I can't remember the name.
There was one in Houston. I can't remember either, but it was another radio station we dealt with was it Houston or was it Dallas? No, it was Houston.
Okay. And just like you said, as far as getting your stuff played back then, it was a challenge. It really was a challenge. Even when the FMs came on here, I would take the records and try to go to the FMs. It was a challenge then. It really was. But we got through. We did get through. And that's the good thing.
You know what Paradise told me about a year ago. You remember, Milk? He said Red Alert didn't really want to play top billing. So he had a crate. He told me later on he had 2 crates that had nothing but top billing records in it. He would see me and he would do like this, waving his hands when I start walking across to give him his record.
Gave him so many. Every time we see him,
so many.
He still doesn't play it.
Paradise gave him one of the records. He said, "Man, come on and play this." He said he took it out and threw it like a frisbee to the other side. It broke out back in.
Well, I mean, you can't deny the record now. I mean, the record is a classic. It's a legendary song. You just can't deny it.
let me throw this in there too, Brad, about
Please.
what you were saying. I think that, well, you know, it took us a long time to break that record, right?
Yeah.
Right.
One radio station at a time. I think, and this is just what I think, right? I think by laying the foundation like that, and you know, one record, one radio station at a time, one record at a time, one region at a time, I think it kind of made the artist a little more solid. Right now, everybody releases the records, you know, it's distributed to all the DJs in the world at once in 1 second, and it makes it a little more disposable to me. So
Right.
I think that the legwork kind of helped to establish the artist a little bit better.
Who do you think? You think Marley Marl was the first person that really put us on?
He was the first major radio station.
Mhm.
I think that there's this guy I can't remember his name, but he was a white guy. His name was Crush or something, DJ Crush. I think he was in Connecticut. I think that was the first college station
that played it.
that started playing it. And once it started bubbling on the college stations, Marley was the first one to play I Cram to Understand You. He didn't play Top Billing. He played Cram like maybe 4 weeks before he got to Top Billing, but he was the first big
one.
DJ.
And let me tell you something that Milk had to do. Light had a DJ. His name was something D, and then I said, Milk, you got to just change that because she's got K Rock now. Remember, you had to put K Rock and take the other guy's name out.
Yeah, on the song. And if you listen, it's just like edited out. You could tell that the name was changed because I had to do it at a different time. It wasn't like now where you can edit. I had to like pause, erase it, and try to get the new name in there.
The razor blade.
Yeah, it was on cassette. That was before the razor blades. That was strictly punch in and out real quick.
Yeah.
Like a smack. You smack it real quick, fast. Yeah.
It sounds crazy to this day.
Yeah. But
every time I hear it, I crazy.
Didn't he do something each time he got to that?
K-Rock, when they do the shows, he just yells his name.
Oh,
whenever they get to that, DJ K-Rock.
I was like, oh damn, I screwed up.
It's Bravador Live, everybody. Thank y'all for checking this out. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I am on Bravador Live right now. We're on Bravador Live right now. This is a very historic show. We have Mr. Nat Robinson. We have Milk D from the Audio 2. We got my man DJ MC Fresh, my partner in crime for many years. We have Mr. Terry Mora. We all have something in common with First Priority because it was a family. That label was a family type label. And that's just the bottom line. That's what I can take from it. That's what I got from it.
And it's still going on because your girl keeps it together, Mia. Well, I still call her Mia.
Right.
She keeps it going with all you guys. So it's beautiful.
Well, Nat, I just got to say this, man, that you doing this, creating this, you've created what you see here now, as far as us being able to do this right here. The Audio 2, your two sons, you did what you did with that. Light, like I said, the Alliance. I mean, Peaches, Michi Me and LA Love in Canada. That right there. How did that come about? They're across, not really across the pond. Well, they're in another country in Canada.
Hang out in New York.
Yeah, they used to come in New York and hang out?
Yeah, hang out in New York. But here's the thing: it's not me. It's the people like Milk and KC and Positive and the people that wanted to get into it and make their music. I was just the guy that went out and had to bang on the doors and beat up a few people to do a few things. Right. But it was really the guys. They worked on the music. I didn't touch the music. I would listen sometime, and sometimes people say, yeah, I like that. Or I like the change, or I don't like the change. So I kind of let everybody do what they wanted to do and what they felt. So I think that was it. Terry could like what he likes. Milk could like what he likes. And it was just open. My job was more just to put things in play. That was my job.
Yeah, now, Nat, you also back in the days owned a very popular nightclub in Manhattan.
Quite a few of them, about 6 or 7 of them.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, the one that stands out for me is Tribeca.
Tribeca, yeah.
That's the one that stands out. I remember when Curtis Blow came to WKIE, and I remember you told me Curtis Blow had came to your club.
First rapper, only rapper that was ever in my club was him.
And I told him, I said, you were at a club with Nat Robinson. He said, Nat Robinson. I said, it was a club in Manhattan called Try. He said, Tribeca. Yes, I do remember that. And he was like, that was a place where I did my first show there or something.
It was these are the breaks. Break one.
Yep, that's what he said. And
the first one was the Christmas record.
Right. Yeah. But see, Milky, you were there. You were at Tribeca when you were young. Remember, you had your friends
from kids disco on Saturdays.
Yeah, and we had some stuff, and you all went there. Ward was young. I remember he was on the news. The news picked him up, because he was very, very young. But yeah, club business was my business. Really was my business.
Right.
But I think more so the kids and this and that, they pushed me more to go into the record business.
Okay.
And then I stopped with the clubs and we went into music.
Now you had a lot of businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. A lot of clubs too. Yeah. I'll tell you one day some stuff. What I did, me and my partner, you would never believe. To walk into somebody's office, head of in Hilco in the World Trade Center, and the guy says, I don't see you on my thing. What do we here to talk about? We talked to him. We had every restaurant we wanted in all the buildings, the Nassau Coliseum. We just walked in and told the receptionist, honey, you want to go to Tribeca? I said, yeah, hey, come on down, bring your girls. Y'all can drink on me. She said, okay, I'll put you on the thing. And she put my name on it, and we went in and talked to the big boy, the president. And I mean, they made crazy money. So that was one thing. You made money, so you say, okay, move on to something else, after a while.
So that is, of course, some of the highlights of your being in the music business in one way or another, whether it's records or clubs and things of that nature. These are some of the highlights. What are some of the other highlights that you can touch on that you can possibly remember for as with the labels and stuff like that? I mean, of course, the success of Light and, Audio 2's success as well. Some of the other things that maybe I haven't mentioned are some of the great things you remember.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We were working on Atlantic Records and Sylvia only wanted the Audio 2. She didn't want Light. And I said to her at that time, I said, the only way you're going to get Audio 2, you have to take Light. So she took both of them. So that's what really started us with a really big company.
Believe it or not, that happened a few times in a few situations, right? They did not want Light. We used to have to basically put ourselves like, yo, you can't have us if you don't take her. And even the first video, remember that, D? They would give us the budget.
Yeah.
We took the budget and did both videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We did some crazy stuff. We did that thing we did up in Mount Vernon you were talking about.
Yes, the mini styles and Step Up Front and I'm Not Having It.
Do you remember Chris Rock was there?
I do remember.
And he did a whole stand-up thing and talking about Audio 2.
I do remember. I remember the joke. I remember the joke he said about I'll Be Sure. I only got one eyebrow. I remember him saying that.
So I remember the name of that club. You don't remember?
I don't know.
What was the name of it?
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Oh, really?
Wow.
That's what it was?
Yes.
But Positive,
it was.
Positive did 2 songs that day.
Because part of one of the videos was on the roof.
Right.
Yeah.
And he
that was Step Up Front.
In the in the inside at the bar. And
then
just different areas.
Different areas of the club.
Well, I got a story on that. So, and D remembers this. So we did a demo, one of the original demos, and we sent it to Vintertainment Vincent Davis label.
Yeah.
Right?
Was Keith Sweat was on.
Yeah. So this early. This is before Keith Sweat. This is like when he had like Red Alert and Chuck Chill Out. Anyway,
Right.
so we sent them the demo, and he was really interested in signing audio too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So my pops called him and was like, all right, well, what's the deal? You remember how much he offered, D?
I don't recall.
$500.
Oh.
So he was like, yeah, I'll give him $500 or whatever. And
what did I say when he said 500? I don't remember.
I think he hung up the phone on him. And,
Rightfully so.
So that was the beginning. So here's the story. So a little while after that, the song, the Joski Love song, Pee Wee Herman came out, and I was like, yo, I told Giz, I told my pops, I'm like, yo, he signed this dude. He's trying to get somebody that sounds like me. They was like, yo, Milk, you're bugging. I'm like, yo, I can hear it. We had used on the demo, we had used a breakbeat called Substitution, and Pee Wee Herman, they replayed Substitution, and I knew for sure that he tried to get an artist that sounded like me, and they all told me I was crazy, but I knew it in my heart. So about 20 years later, I did a show with Joski Love, and he pulled me to the side.
I thought you was 27 all this time. Damn.
Huh? Right? A long time after that, he pulled me to the side. He was like, yo, he said, Vincent played me your demo and told me that he wanted a song that sounded like this. And that's how I came up with the Pee Wee Herman or whatever. And I was like, I knew it. I knew it. They was telling me I was crazy. But he told me himself that's what Vincent did.
Wow.
He said, oh, they're not going to take the 500. I'll give somebody else the 500.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What was we going to do with $500? Come on. Yeah, we
Milk.
weren't able to do too much.
Let me ask you this, Milk. Of course, late in recent years, we've seen you with 50 Cent. When 50 Cent used Top Billing. How, if you can tell us, how did that come about?
Did I get money?
Yeah.
He just used it. Like everybody else. He wanted a hit song.
Yeah, and you did it. What's the kid's name? God, rest his soul. The kid that was his manager.
Baby Chris.
Chris Lighty. Chris Lighty,
yeah. Baby Chris was calling. I called him, and he wouldn't answer me, but the record was already out. And then Milk saw him, and he went to Milk and said, yeah, tell your father I need to talk to him. But the record was already out. We could have took 100% of it.
Right.
But I believe one of the things about Top Billing that's so great, we never tried to take advantage of anybody. Your record's out already. Come on, we listen to what it is. We're not going to try to take 100% of your song.
Right.
So that's what we did with all these people. They always put it out before they ask you anything.
I look at it like a collaboration. Like, I don't feel like we're getting robbed. I feel like we're collaborating. We're all collaborating together.
It's opportunity, really. It was opportunity.
And that's why rappers and stuff still use Milk, because they know that you're not going to jerk them. What's the guy right now that you're the French Montana?
Oh, yeah.
His new song? So he just did a new one, but it was from which one of your songs that he used?
He used Put It to Music.
Okay.
That's on the new album.
That's been about maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Yeah, not even that long, maybe a month. That's fresh. But it feels good, Brad. Like whenever they use it, it feels like you're making a mark. But here's the question: who's the first person to sample Top Billing?
Mary J. Blige.
Fresh.
No.
Terry.
I'm thinking. I'm going with Brad. I'm thinking Mary J.
D.
Real.
Who was it?
First person to sample Top Billing was Milk.
Oh,
I don't care.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The second song, I Don't Care.
I get the money.
Oh yeah, I get the papers. I get the papers.
I get the
Then
papers. Yeah.
Light Song, 10% disc. So in my mind, I feel like we planted the seed for people to want to sample it by sampling it ourselves.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
Think about Real Love. I was walking out of a movie theater with Puffy, and Puffy came over to me and said, "Hey, Nat, nah, nah, nah." I was like, "Come on, man, you got my phone number. You can get my phone number from whatever." The record was out and blowing up already.
Wow.
So what we did, we sat down and we put it together so everybody was happy. I know people that have gone and took 100% of the song because somebody messed up.
Yeah,
So,
Lord Tariq and Peter Guns went through that with Steely Dan. Steely Dan took the whole thing.
Yeah. And those girls, I
took
can't
the whole
remember their
thing.
names. I can't remember the name. They're some kind of singers. They took Light's whole song, one of Light's songs that Puffy did. No, 100% of it. I think they did something like that to Paz too. I have to ask them that, Yeah. But it's if you can be fair with people are not afraid to use your stuff. If they know somebody else, took 100%, they're not going to touch your stuff.
Right.
And if you have a whole nother business on the side.
Yeah. Can say AT.
Yeah.
You being good tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm home, man. I'm home by myself tonight.
Hey, that's a nice thing. Get some rest.
Yeah,
I got to yell at Paz too because I'm supposed to go have. I got to go have some drinks with him one time. We might go to a bar. So if he's still on, we're gonna have to do that. Do it soon.
Yeah, Nat, let me know. I'll roll with y'all on that one. I ain't seen Paz in a minute.
Yeah.
Right back.
Are you down south, Nat? You down south?
Yeah, I'm in Georgia.
Okay, I know that.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia. Paz is in Georgia too.
Yeah, I think I knew that, but
okay, yeah.
But Paz,
all in Georgia. Terry's in Georgia too. He was the first one in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, I came down in '94.
Terry don't remember me at all. We had some good conversations.
Oh
no,
yeah,
Terry remembers you. I'm telling you, he remembers you.
Well, it was funny to me.
I do recognize the face.
Well, come on, Terry, you can do better than that. Reach down them brain cells of yours. It's DJ MC Fresh. Come on, man.
I had to wait till Milk come back.
You got to give me. I'm 57 now, so you got to get. I'll wake up 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll be like, oh.
Why do y'all keep dropping these numbers, man?
Oh boy! But it's been a good life. I think I met some really great people. I think you guys are great people.
Well, we feel the same.
I got to say to you, tell Ma that I love her and God bless her, and don't ever forget about her, which I'm sure you guys would never do if something happens to your mom. But,
yeah, it's been a year. Mom's been gone and stuff, and I remember I was talking to somebody before the broadcast because I was really trying to prepare myself for this because this has been a great broadcast. It's a huge broadcast for all of us, and I can remember when y'all used to go to the house and Mom used to be fixing food. And, I remember that.
Yeah.
Fresh be at the house at times. We be up in the bedroom producing music on the SP, on the DX drum machine for hours and hours and hours. We'd be up there.
Well, you guys were hustlers. We used to go there all the time to Virginia. I think that was the place that we were going every other week if we could,
Yes.
Yeah. And Milk, you had Milk had something he wanted to do. I forgot what he was getting ready to say. He's ready to do something. But hey, it's all good. You guys all look good. I hope everybody's healthy.
Yeah, we're pretty good. I think we are. Fresh. I know Fresh is doing well.
Yeah.
And
that's what we're doing.
Hey, do you guys remember? Brad invited us to a school one year.
Oh yeah,
I knew he was going there.
I know he was going there too.
Yep, East End Middle School.
And
what time we got there?
We got there late, and all the kids were leaving, We
And
had to
we
pull
ran
it
right
down
into
the
him.
back.
We ran right into him. My mom was working at the school.
Oh,
yeah.
word. Okay.
And we ran right into them, and them kids bum rushed us.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
They jumped on top the Mustang, was trying to ride on top the Mustang. The principal couldn't control him. He got so scared.
he
Said,
did.
"You shouldn't have came if you were late. You shouldn't have came." And then my mom said, "Man, you're not gonna talk to them that way." Oh, I'll never forget it. Never forget it. Wow.
But you know what I remember about that day? We was up in the principal's office because we figured the kids were gonna leave at some point, and they didn't leave. So we had all decided, okay, we're gonna pull the vans around, the cars around to the side next to the cafeteria.
Yep.
And we all went downstairs. We walked to the cafeteria, and they had the kids separated on each side of the doors. And we walked through like we were walking through a gauntlet to get to the cars. Everybody was holding on to each other. And I'll never forget, I looked to my right, and this little girl was trying to reach out to me, and she was crying her eyes out. And I was thinking, man, if they wanted to bum rush us, it'd be
What
over.
they did when we got outside, if you can remember, they did. Bigfoot was sitting. No, Nat, you were sitting in the van waiting.
Right.
And one of the kids tried to get in the van, and Nat, you looked at him and said, "Don't even think it."
Right.
Said, "Just turn right around and go on." And that they like, okay. And they just walked on. Nat was like, "I'm not playing."
But I got one now. Milk had one of his about the first person that sampled his song.
Mm-hmm.
How many people can you put in a van? Well, I mean a luxury van. Anybody knows?
We put, what was it, 12 or 13?
Yeah, I think
Still
it was
off.
13.
Still off. You're off by one.
14?
14 people.
Oh my gosh.
Before Terry was in there, everybody, and we went all the way to Ohio.
It used to be hard to hold it on the road with everybody in there.
Oh man, it's swaying and yeah.
Mia was there. Wasn't Mia there? I think Mia was there. Everybody was there.
That was something.
I remember another school that y'all may remember that we were at with you guys, Eastside High.
Yes,
At Joe Clark's
in Jersey. Yeah. When we first got there, the day we got there,
that's when we first saw Chris Rock at there.
The day we got there, Fresh.
And they had some impersonators for like Michael Jackson and stuff. Right. And Milk was worried that they were going to think they were impersonating.
I remember that.
Yep. I don't think I was with y'all, Bobby.
Yes, you were. You were there, Nat. You were there.
Yeah, you were there, Nat.
It was Evelyn Champagne King.
Yeah,
it was Ralph Carter from Good Times.
What?
Chris
I remember that.
It was Chris Rock.
Because I was like, that's the Lean on Me school.
Yep.
Yeah. Before the movie. Yeah.
Nat, when we got to your house finally, you said, "Good, y'all got here just in time. We got to go to Eastside High in Jersey." And we followed behind. You said, "Brad, I'll ride with you guys. And I got some tapes. I want you to hear some music on the way there." And Milk, Light, Casey, and them, they were all in the limo. And we went to Patterson, New Jersey. And we met
Joe Clark, Patterson, any of that stuff, you know.
Yeah, this is before the movie came out. This is a year before the movie came out.
Wow.
So,
I remember that.
I do remember that.
And Milk, you and Giz were mad because Chris Rock had said a crack about Milk is chilling, top billing at another show, and it got back to y'all, or y'all heard it, and y'all said, "That's all right, we're gonna see him when we get over to the school. We're gonna see him." And y'all saw him, and Chris Rock's whole thing changed. Was like, "I love you guys. I think you guys are great." And then he changed it now. He sees us.
That's when he had the Jerry Carroll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was before he got this whole dental thing done. You know.
Yeah.
He was a little overbite in those days. Yeah.
But everybody,
you haven't been good. You guys have been. You did everything you wanted to do. Isn't that amazing?
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
that you could do all the things you wanted to do. What did I do after that? Do publishing we're doing, but you guys, we try to keep in. Brad, I talk to Brad all the time.
Yeah. We've been in these recent years, we've been keeping in touch with each other often, and I thank God for that we're able to talk to each other like that, and trying to make plans to see each other. But I'm glad we're able to see each other at least this way right now.
Right.
But Nat, speaking on that, and before we close this out, because we've been here for a good while, we've reminisced. What are you doing now?
Right now, we're really doing a publishing thing. We're trying to change some of our publishing stuff and go with it there, because we're with BMG. I'm not sure if you know BMG, the publishing company in Germany.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what we've been doing a lot of publishing. Milk, he's always in the studio.
Yeah, I was going to get to you, Milk, and see what you're working on now, man.
Terry's trying to I don't know. I think he's trying to become one of those millionaires real quick in a couple of things he's doing. So I don't know.
Legal Shield. You're still doing Legal Shield, right? You're still doing Legal Shield.
Yeah. He's planning on becoming a millionaire.
Yeah.
And Milk,
I won my case, Terry.
Oh, that's what's up. See, that's a satisfied customer. That's what's up. Very
Milk, I gotta say this, Milk. That studio behind you is awesome.
Yep. That studio is fine right there.
My studio could take some tips from that, but you got a nice. I gotta ask, is that the same studio that I worked in before when you first built that?
In the garage?
Yes.
Wow. So you tore everything down and redid it, right?
Yeah.
It has changed.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah.
It's beautiful though.
I took a lot of stuff out. I'm kind of more in the box now. I still have a few analog pieces, but most of it is in the box now.
One thing I wanted to touch on real quick, since we're talking about studio before we leave and stuff. Like I said, you, Casey, King of Chill, Creepy Clown, they call him now, Urim, and Shlomo from Firehouse and Such As How.
Right.
But you taught me about SMPTE time code and the SP12 and all that. I still have my SP12.
Really?
I still have it. I'm looking at it in the case. Yes, I still have it. Wow. I refuse to get rid of it.
Was it straight up? Was it digital, or was it just straight up dumping on the digital machine in those days?
Yeah.
It's digital, but it has analog outputs.
Right.
So it's not like you don't hook it up with like a firewire, with a optical cord or anything like that. You just have the output cables.
Right.
I have some stuff, Brad, some original stuff that I still have. I still have the 4-track.
You still got the original 4-track.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Don't get rid of it, man.
Yeah, I still got some old pieces. I actually had to get rid of a lot of stuff, but I still have a few pieces that's about 35 years old.
Wow. Yeah, but
I have a SP in the attic, but it's broken. I still have it though.
You have the 12 or the 1200? I know you got a 1200.
I have both. I still have a 12. But I just sold all of my MPs, like 4 of them.
Wow.
MPCs. They was just taking up too much space.
I wish I'd have known. I might have took one off your hands. I'm going to bring this with me one day when I come back up that way, because Davey DMX told me about a place in Jersey that reconditions old machines and what have you, because they had some of his DA88s. When I was working on this documentary, he was telling me about it, and I need to take this up there just to make sure, to get it reconditioned, because it hasn't been on in almost 30 years. It has not even had any electricity going through it. I don't want to cut it on and fry it for whatever reason, but I'm going to but I refuse to get rid of it. I'll never, because you all gave me that when I signed with you all. You gave me that, and
you still got it.
I still got it. Still got it. Still got it.
They don't even make those discs anymore.
I still got my discs and the Commodore Drive with it.
ooh.
I still got the Commodore Drive, Milk.
Commodore Drive.
I still got the 5 1/4 Commodore
You
Drive.
remember how long it would take for them things to load up?
Yep.
It was like 20 minutes to load a oh my God.
Still got it. Listen, we have to do this again, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We definitely have to do this again.
Word.
Fresh, I appreciate you being here with me, man, and all of
Yeah,
us on
me
this.
too.
Man. I really appreciate it. I thought this would be great because Nat always asks about you, Fresh. How's Fresh doing? How's Fresh doing?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get your number from him. So
yeah, I'm gonna give you the number. Yeah, definitely.
Milk,
Milk,
see what's going on, you know?
Milk, thank you for taking your time out, hanging out, man. Terry, I'm glad you jumped on. It's good to see you.
Man, likewise. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. This was fun.
Oh yeah, it was. Nat, thank you so much for everything, man.
Thank you. This was a good evening, a good time, and it's nice to be able to enjoy yourself with friends and family.
Last thing I'm gonna do before we leave, I want last words from Nat, Milk, Terry, and Fresh. Starting with you, Nat.
Love you guys. Thank you for bringing me into your world.
Milk.
It's wonderful seeing y'all. It makes me feel good. And to the world, stay positive.
Terry.
I just gotta say this is phenomenal. We definitely got to do it again. This is like a family reunion, and like Milk says, to the world, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Amen.
And my man, my right-hand man, my partner, DJ MC Fresh.
Yeah, Brad, thanks for inviting me on this. It's good seeing you guys again, man. It's been too long, way too long. And people that's watching, I know we're all over the place, but we haven't seen each other forever.
Yeah.
So I hope it was half as good to y'all. If it was great to me to have to see these guys again.
Great
Very
to
good.
me.
And now on you.
Well, I'm just glad that we were able to do this. It's been quite a long time coming. I'll say that.
Right.
Yeah. So thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And
Love you,
bless
bro.
all our brothers.
Fresh, love you, son. Milk.
Oh
love
man,
you.
yeah, absolutely.
Love you too.
And all those brothers of ours out there, please rest in peace. And,
Yes.
You know,
Big Mike, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
You know, may they rest in peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I hope you got out a good first priority history out to you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna sit and talk. I like this. We should start doing some new stuff. You know,
this is great. This is great.
You know?
Yeah, this is great. Yes. Okay, everybody. This has been Bravador Live. Thank you all so much for checking this out on Facebook and YouTube. We really appreciate it. And you taking your time to check out and just hear what these great people have to say and reminiscing about those days of first priority music, Black History Month. But every month, every day is Black History. And I just want to say that in the background, you've probably been hearing a little bit of WQ Mix Worldwide Radio. Please don't forget to just Google WQMIX Worldwide Radio. Classic hip hop, go-go, 80s dance classics, a little disco, and, you know, hey, just about a little bit more, even some MTV classics there. So just check that out. And don't forget to check out Bravador Live. We're on Fridays at 7 o'clock. We go until. It's no time set. We just go until. Thank you all again. Mr. Nat Robinson, Milk D, Terry Moore, DJ MC Fresh. Love you guys. Thank you all so much for this.
Good night.
And y'all have a great night, and we'll talk soon. Peace and blessings.
Peace,
One love.
Fresh. All right.
Bye. Out.